Hello, here's Alex from Clarity Hypnosis. Congratulations on taking the first step into your next level of your life, next bright chapter in your life. I record this video because I say these things to everybody, and sometimes I forget to say some things. So now I have everything wrote down, and now I will explain to you what is important, what is your role during the session. So during the quantum session, we are a team. I assist you on your journey through time and space into your consciousness, deep into your consciousness, under the direction of your higher self. I am assisting you to move forward into the story which will unfold so you can understand, learn, and heal any issues that you may have. So we are cooperating together with your higher self, with my higher self, and any other entities in our light team, which are invisible to the human eyes. So it's actually not only me and you, but a lot of entities from the light. And many people in the session, when they are in altered state, they are able to notice the entities that are helping us. So what is your role during the session? Your role is to just trust and allow your higher self to help you. Don't resist, don't filter, don't allow your mind to sabotage the session. We'll be talking about the mind and sabotaging later. So basically, your higher self is you. It's your divine aspect, which is outside of the human experience. We are only the few percent of our higher self in the human body. We came here to expand, to learn, to experience different things. So usually when we do something like this, our attitude is that we will be trying. We try hard. We make an effort so it will work. But actually opposite is helpful, opposite attitude. When you try, when you make an effort, you are tensing, you are stressing yourself. But to go deeper into your consciousness, you need to be relaxed. You need to be in this state of allowing, trusting, open heart. So when you trust yourself, your higher self, your divine self, then you will allow that whatever happens, it is the perfect thing for you to experience, to see, to understand at this time. So we are working, during the session, we are working with theta brainwaves, which are very slow brain frequency. And we are working with the right hemisphere of the brain, which is connected with creativity, with imagination, with art, with non-analytical thinking, intuition. So during the session, we'll be operating in this area. We will make left hemisphere less active. The left hemisphere will be put into background to observe, but the right hemisphere allow us to access deeper subconscious and also superconscious or your higher self. Only in the state of deep meditative brainwaves, theta brainwaves, we will be able to find the origins of your issues and find out how to undo any problems that you may have. Like in this quote by Albert Einstein, that we cannot solve the problems with the same thinking that created them. So we usually in our lives, we use the analytical thinking, left hemisphere. And it's not always perfect. We create problems for ourselves. Usually the mind is speaking to us negatively, low self-esteem, fear, anger, frustration, guilt. All of this is in the mind. But we now want to go to another level, deeper level or spiritual level, to solve the problems which we created for ourselves. So this is the combination of theta brainwaves and right hemisphere activation. So in this right hemisphere of the brain resides imagination also, together with these other things like intuition, creativity. And imagination is active and passive. There are two modes of imagination. Active imagination is when I will ask you to imagine something which, let's say, I ask you to imagine that this shirt is red, or the sky here behind me is pink. So imagine this, I have red shirt and the sky is pink. I bet that you can do it. So this is active imagination, and we will not be doing this during the session. I will not ask you in the session to imagine anything. Instead, we will be working with passive imagination or passive mode, where you receive deeper memories or information from more subtle dimensions. So it will feel like you are making it up, but it's completely perfect like this, because it's going through the right hemisphere and there is imagination, but you are not creating it, you are just receiving. You can imagine it like an antenna, right hemisphere, and being in the theta brainwave or deep trance. In this state, you are receiving information, healing, that you are not able to do in the normal state of consciousness. You are knowing yourself, who you are, and what is your past, what is your current ability, what are your current abilities and powers, which may be hidden, and what is your future, how you can live to your full potential. So, I will tell you a story. When I was training to be a remote viewer, remote viewing is a method of extrasensory perception developed by Stanford University in United States for CIA to spy on the Soviets during the Cold War. So basically, they developed a technique how to see in any time, any place, whatever they want. And it was used for many years with a lot of successes. They could actually spy just by this method. And now this method become declassified and is available to the public. So I was training in this, and on my training, the lady who was the teacher after the class, she told us, okay, so now I have a photo here. She was in New York, I was in Europe, and class was over the Zoom. And I have photo here, and your task is to just tell me what I have on this photo. So of course, my mind was saying, it's not possible. How can you expect me to guess? And I told my mind, because I have over 20 years of experience with meditation and different techniques of mental information gathering. So I told my mind, okay, I understand that you cannot guess, but it's not about guessing. It's about seeing, and I can do it. So then I changed the attitude which I am trying to describe to you. I started to don't care. I started to just be carefree about the results. I started to feel like an adventure, like I am a small boy, an adventure, and now we are going to see what this lady has on the photo on the other part, in the other side of the world. It was like a play, like a game, fun thing to do. This is different way of doing things. So I was sure that I am making things up. It felt like it. So I just started writing on a piece of paper, drawing the woman with black hair, long black hair, and she had some kind of line on her cheek. And I also wrote down that she came from the abusive parents, especially father, from poor family. And that's all. That's all what I was feeling, that I am imagining. So the lady showed us the photo. And on the photo was a couple from Hollywood. There was bald, big guy, and there was a woman with black, long hair. And she was smiling in such a way that light was creating a line on her cheek. Shadow line was falling in such way. And also later I researched that she comes from the poor family and the father was abusive. So I was completely amazed, surprised, how easy it is. I wasn't even in any altered state, not deep trance. I was just relaxed. I was having fun. I was not tense about the results. I was just, whatever happens, if I get it wrong, so what? So with this attitude, I was able to access the information. So later, as a remote viewer, I did a lot of operations, a lot of viewings. And in remote viewing, you are only getting from the tasker 6 digits, any digits. It doesn't matter what are the digits, but the tasker connects them in her or his mind with the object, with the place or the person. It can be event, object, or a person, or a place. So when you get the numbers, you start drawing, you start writing, whatever comes, first impressions. You don't think about it, you don't filter it, you don't speculate, guess. No, nothing like that. You just write whatever comes. And over the few hundred remote viewings, I had a accuracy of 81% in total, and most of my viewings were perfect. I could describe the person, the place or the event, and I didn't know nothing if this is a person or this is in an event. And the more I was feeling that I am completely imagining things, that this is just my imagination, it completely will be wrong. My mind was telling me, this will be completely wrong, what are you doing? Then the tasker sent me the photo of the object, and I was like in awe, in amazement. Wow. I had these feelings. Sometimes you get the feelings you cannot even describe. They are you cannot name when you are doing remote viewing or you are working with altered state, extrasensory perception. Sometimes you get the feelings and you cannot name them in the language. So why I'm telling you this? Because I ask you to be carefree during the session. Trust your higher self and just be like a small girl or boy having an adventure, having a blast, having a fun thing to do. Don't care what will happen. Trust that your higher self knows that what you need. Okay. So if you have a feeling that you are making it up, it's wonderful. That means that everything works as it should. It just goes through the right hemisphere. You are in altered state of consciousness and you are getting real data. Everybody is unique. Your experience will be wonderful, perfect, and unique. Don't have expectations. For example, let's say that you watch some other videos of other people having their sessions. It has no influence on your session. It doesn't matter what other people had. Expectations are from the mind, and mind doesn't know much. Mind is a very good computer to carry out human tasks, human life, but about what we are about to do, which is non-material exploration outside of time and space, the mind has no clue and cannot have clue because mind is from the 3D environment. So anything outside of 3D cannot be understood by the mind. So the mind has expectation how it will be and so on, but just doesn't make sense at all. So also during the session you can have an experience that you are in two places in one time, that simultaneously you are on your bed listening to my voice, answering my questions, And simultaneously you have an experience that you are, let's say, walking on the desert with your camel and your belongings, going to some ancient city in Egypt. And you see the image, you feel the hotness, you smell the dry air, and simultaneously you are on your bed, and it's completely fine like this if you have such double location. Okay, the next thing that people have in their minds that they are afraid of is being judged by me or being judged by anybody else they meet during the session. But I can assure you, after hundreds of sessions I facilitated and thousands I read or watched, there is no judgment in the light. Everybody in the light is loving unconditionally, perfectly, purely, and they understand that Earth is a very difficult place to be, and they are very kind and they are very helpful. Only we are reviewing our deeds, our lives, to see if we learn the lessons we wanted, if we passed the exams that we wanted, or we missed something. This is all. There is no concept of bad or evil or good. It's only about experiences, lessons, and growing, expanding as a soul. So remember that during the session, your mind, if you meditate, you know that the mind is like a monkey mind, jumping from one thought to another, completely random, to distract you from meditation, for example. Here also, the mind will try to distract you, like a monkey, by telling you things like, oh, for example, let's say you are on this desert with your camel, and you have different sex that you have now, and your mind is completely, what is this? This cannot be real. I cannot be a man, or I cannot be a woman. Or for example, the sky can be different. Sky can be green. Maybe it's not Earth. And your mind will be in overdrive. Oh, this is your imagination, you are making it up. Instead of focus on the negative mind who wants to sabotage your session, who wants to have you under its control and continue make you suffer, don't fight with your mind. Don't pay any attention. Just imagine that the mind's negative comments are like a small puffy clouds in the sky. They are just coming and going. Don't pay any attention, don't fight it, don't be frustrated. Instead, focus on what is happening in this memory. What else is there? So if you are going through this desert, suddenly you can hear something or you know something about yourself. Just focus on this other stream of information coming through your right hemisphere from your soul memory. Okay, so this is basically what I wanted to convey, and important points. So please remember about this, what is your role, what is your attitude to have the perfect session, healing session that will help you the most. Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye-bye.